listening to the Fours Up Podcast with your host, Marsh.
All right, what up? It is the Fours Up Podcast. We're coming at you again, third time this week. We told you what happened and we did it. It's me, your boy Marsh. As always, I am joined by my wonderful producer and co-host, Jordan Nelson. Jordan, talk to me. How are we? How are we feeling?
We are doing good. We are a little fatigued from 3 podcasts in a week, but we are still hyped.
But you know what? I mean, we're built to weather the storm. I mean, we're just warriors, you know?
Oh yeah, dude. Well, I've spent the last 2 days chatting up with Canes fam. Yesterday and today, was it yesterday? Anyways, in the last 3 days, I've spoken to our dude, best friend of the podcast, Brad Tejeda. I've spoken to him twice. And today I also spoke with another friend of the podcast, Travis Bruce, on the phone. So it's been good, man. Lots of Canes this week for me.
Hey, good. I mean, because I've been out of it the last few days. I need you to carry it, man. Carry the brand.
Oh, you got it, brother.
But I mean, I'm just really proud of us that we were able to pull this off. It was a big week for us, and we're going to finish it off tonight with 2 good guests. We got Cam Underwood. He's the managing editor of State of the U, also my boss. And so we're going to have him on first, and then we got Brad Kunz. He was a member of the 2001 Hurricanes. He will join us in about 30 minutes. So what do you say, man? Let's get this going.
Cool. I'll patch Cam in right now, brother. Cam, what's up, man? You're live on the Fours Up podcast.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on, Cam? We now welcome on my boss and the managing editor of the State of the U, Cam Underwood. Cam, thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
How are you doing with this whole coronavirus? How's South Florida treating you?
Man, you know, it's a different kind of situation, but just kind of been hanging out at home, playing some video games, still making my way into the secret day job a little bit here and there. Which no, I'm not going to tell you guys, but yeah, you know, just doing that and working on Cam's Cooking Corner. You know that I'm a fledgling foodie, so got some new recipes working on and things like that, and doing a little reading. Got a buddy who's down here for a while in Hollywood, your old stomping grounds, Marsh. So he's a musician like myself, so he's kind of spurred me into getting back into, you know, learning some stuff on the keys and whatnot. So, you know, just kind of doing those things, but taking it a day at a time. How about you guys?
I love it. I mean, I wish I was doing all that. I love to cook and play music and all that stuff, but I've just been sitting on my hands playing video games for the last 2 weeks.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, people want to talk bad about people playing video games, and now video games are helping save the world. So you guys are welcome.
That's right.
Good deal.
I need you to talk to my dad about that, please, because he's not having it.
That's awesome. Cam, okay, so before we jump into Canes and football, Jordan and I are big Entourage fans, and I know you're a fan of the show. I know you don't like Johnny Drama. Why not?
Oh, man.
I get it. Johnny Drama was he is like the lesser known brother of a famous actor, first of all. So like you have that in real life, and he like kind of just played that role. And he played it big, and obviously like Entourage, the acting was not really big on subtleties and things like that. So he was, just very on the high end of it. And he whined just all the time about like, I'm not getting enough, exposure, and I'm not known enough. And like everybody's not going to be Vincent Chase. Everybody's not going to be the media star, but he worked consistently. If you go through all the episodes and all the seasons of the show, Johnny Drama stayed with an audition. Johnny Drama stayed with a job. He went everywhere. He went to San Diego Comic-Con every year. Why? Because Vikings was still iconic. You know what I mean? But he like overlooked all of that stuff. He's doing all these stupid games with Turtle and them. They're over here chasing after girls and doing all the things, which, again, if you look through the series like that we saw on Entourage, Johnny Drama was not necessarily hurting for female companionship either. So, but he's always crying about it as though like no one ever gave him an audition or a job, or no female ever looked his way the second time or anything. And it's like, bro, like you have so many things that you're intentionally overlooking to complain, and it just got old for me.
Yeah, no, I'm actually with you there. The first time I watched the series, I didn't like drama. But then the next time, one of my good buddies said that drama was his favorite. And so the next time I watched it through, I, was trying to be a little more biased towards drama and just like pay attention to him more.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy him a lot. But those are a lot of the same reasons why I can't stand Turtle. Because I think Turtle is the biggest mooch on the planet, and I can't stand it. Like,
and I mean, that was his role in the group. You know, he was just like the feel good guy. Like, we want to have him around because he's one of our friends. Like, the Chase brothers acted. Eventually he went out there. He's like, yo, I'm going to make it in the business. I'm going to manage people and whatnot. And Turtle was like, cool, I'm going to be here. And that was it. And eventually, like, you get to season 4 and season 5, and Turtle was like, okay, let me try to do something, because he even felt that he was being a sponge. And I think that Jerry Ferrara, the actual actor, he wanted more range to do something with his character, because it was very just comic relief, slapstick, whatever, jokey here, jokey there. And I think that a lot of people eventually, even if it was subconsciously, started to feel like, okay, like everybody else in the show is doing something other than Turtle, who plays video games and smokes weed exclusively, not now. And again, I know that people are going to listen and say, Cam, you just said the video games are taking over the world or helping save the world. Yeah. But he did that exclusively along with smoking weed. He didn't add really any other value. And I mean, he had some great jokes and some great one-liners, but eventually he had to grow out of that, the actor and the character. But I could see why at a time he was definitely the biggest mooch in the world, because that was his function in their group of friends.
Yeah, and it was when you'd complain, like the Fukijama episode where he gets the custom Air Force Ones from the graffiti artist.
Oh, yes.
When he was like whining about that and stuff, and like trying to make Vince feel guilty and stuff, I'm just like, Turtle, what is going on, brother? Like, you have the best life on the planet. You do nothing, right, and you have all of the movie star privileges. Like,
right, but if you think about it, that was the first time. No, but that was the first time that he wasn't able to cash in the Vincent Chase card.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he thought he had a great life, or I mean, which he did, but he thought, like, cool, I got Vincent Chase. Yeah. It doesn't matter that we're going to Undefeated, we're going to Flight Club or anywhere, you got to stay online for It don't matter. Why? Because Vincent Chase has been my homeboy since homeboys were homeboys, like way back in the day. So we're going to stroll up. You're going to see this movie star that I'm with, get goo goo gaga. I'm going to walk in there, go get my Fukijamas and be good. Yeah. And then Vince was like, nah, we're going to be out here like regular people, because you and I are regular people. And that threw Turtle for a loop, because he was expecting the movie star privilege and he didn't get it. And that was one of the first times that you saw any kind of disconnect, any kind of pushback between, like him and Vince, or like what he thought. And yeah, I mean, it was totally first world problems. Like, oh, I'm complaining about some Fukijamas that I didn't get, and then got one-of-one exclusives. But I mean, it's 30 minutes of bro time. It's cameos, sneakers, cars, women, and like very, very thinly tied together with a plot of some acting intrigue at the high end of Hollywood. Like, that's what that show's about.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love it. It's my favorite show, arguably, that and Scrubs. But anyways, we should probably move on to some Kane stuff.
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk Entourage all day, but I don't know who out there else wants to hear that. So Marsh told me that you were a student at UM during the turn of the century, I guess. What years were you a student?
I was a freshman in 2000, graduated in 2004.
Okay.
So we lost the second game my freshman year at Washington, and did not lose again until game 8 or 7 of senior year at North Carolina on the Connor Barth field goal.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So my question is, like, describe to us and the audience what it was like to be a student at the premier football program or football school in the country. Like, what was the vibe around campus, or what was being in the student section? Just tell me. That's my dream,
Oh man, it was awesome. Yeah, I mean, just like the energy started probably about, Thursday morning ish. People usually didn't have many classes on Friday. Well, not unfortunately, but I was a music student, so I had multiple classes on Fridays. So, everybody would hit to the rat after their 11 o'clock for that noon hour. My last class on Friday was noon to 1. So you're going in there maybe a little bit hour later. But starting from Thursday morning, the energy just started. And again, Miami always had a Thursday night home game, usually. Thursday night game. So that is going to kick off the week. You're watching ESPN Thursday Night Football, but we're the biggest, baddest dudes on the block. You know what I mean? And it was awesome. I had several friends who were on the team, classes with other guys. I've told a story of having a class with a certain football player on, I won't say what position. I won't say what side of the ball. But just suffice it to say that if I were to say this person's name, you would know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
To this day. Yeah. You know this person. And it was Philosophy 130, Contemporary Moral Issues, my freshman year. So we're sitting there, syllabus day, whatever, just getting the lay of the land, scoping out the class, whatever. And we had an adjunct professor, and he calls roll, and everybody knew this guy's name. So the whole class in concert says, player name. And he's like, oh, is he famous or something? You're like, oh, you must be new here. Yes, everybody knows him. But he comes in 15 minutes late, sits down next to a very attractive young lady, just interrupting, whatever, cool, just hanging out. And the professor gets to the end of his spiel about his syllabus. Say, oh, is there any questions? Dude's hand goes up, football player. Oh, yeah, the famous guy. Cool, I'll call on you. And goes, hey, yeah, so what's your tennis policy is? He said, I'm sorry? Said, what's your tennis policy is? Said, oh, but it's like somebody else translated like the tennis policy. Go ahead and tell him. He goes, oh, I mean, it's as long as I get your assignments and you're here for the tests, I mean, that's fine for me. Oh, all right. Leans over, takes out his cell phone, gets the number from the young lady next to him, and raises up to leave. And the professor was like, whoa, hey, whoa, buddy, where you going? He said, wait, nah. You said as long as you got my assignments, I'm here for the test, right? Right? All right then. And walked straight out of class. First day. And we did not see this player never again that semester. I might have told that on Twitter a while ago. I might have dropped whose name that is, so maybe you go back through my Twitter archives. I'm not going to say it on here. But, I mean, you had things like that, my buddy Matt Carter, he was the holder on extra points and field goals. He took over the number 11 after Ken Dorsey. He was the one who told us after the special teams meeting on that Wednesday before the Florida game in 2003, he goes, Devin Hester wants the ball. We're like, yeah. He goes, no. He came in the meeting and said, if we win the toss, take the ball, I'm going to go score. And my friend Matt sometimes embellishes things. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. And I was in the student section in 2003 for that opening kickoff return, and that was the loudest I personally had ever heard the Orange Bowl. It was electric. It was incredible. And there's stories like that I have for days, just the memories being there in the Orange Bowl, sitting. I did not get there early enough to get into the student section for the 2000 Miami Florida State game, but I was in the building, and being a musician, I'm attuned to all the musical cues and things of life, and I'd heard that damn war chant like a billion times because everybody hears it, between the Kansas City Chiefs, the Washington Redskins, the Atlanta Braves, Florida State, everybody, you've heard that chant. So I'm like, okay, cool, and we were up, I think 7-0 or something like that, and the whole stadium's going crazy. It's like 98,000 people. They have the extra stands in the end zone. Everything's going crazy, and you see one person stand up in the upper deck, and you hear that god-darn whistle that you can hear from 18 miles away. Deep, 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 deep. And you just hear the drum fill coming in. And then it was the fire of 1,000 suns. Like, it was 455 members of that marching band, and it was just a wall of sound, the likes of which I've never heard. Oh, my God. And, I mean, but they were, where I was sitting, they were pointed directly at me. They were not pointed at the student section because it was at the end of the horseshoe. So it was pointed towards midfield. So they were basically playing across the